What you got on them waiver claims, Dash?
Nothing.
Figures.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to our Week 13 Waiver Claims show. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with J Dash and JK47. Our fantasy football has been on point all year. We called Doug Baldwin's big game, comes out, gets an 80-yard touchdown. If that's the only pass he caught all day, he still had a big game. Boom.
Correct.
Believe it. Everything I say
we
is
don't
correct.
Point out our bad choices either.
Hey, wait. We don't make bad choices, man.
Yeah.
If you make 10 good ones and 2 bad ones, the bad ones don't count. It's the law of averages.
Let's start with these waiver claims then.
All right, they're all good ones.
We're going to start with quarterbacks.
Except for maybe this first one.
What are you talking about,
I
man?
just like to hate on this dude.
Brian Hoyer. Still available in about 65% of the leagues. Finally, though, he was available in about 90% of the leagues a week ago. So he has been...
People have been listening.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but people have been adding him up. Look, he has 14 touchdowns in his last 7 games. He has multiple touchdowns in 6 of those games. And like I said last week, look at his matchups coming up. At Buffalo. Buffalo just got torched by the passing game this past week versus Alex Smith, who I'll be talking about here in a minute. You got New England. Teams have to pass against them. They only let up 2 100-yard rushes all season. One last week against C.J. Anderson. Can you guess the other?
Not the Steelers.
No, it is the Steelers.
D'Angelo Williams.
Please believe.
Boy.
Then he has at Indianapolis, at Tennessee, and versus Jacksonville. All who he already played and put up big numbers against. So I'm adding Brian Hoyer, man. He can win games for you in the playoffs.
He's got like this pencil head. I don't know if I like it. But I'm not hating on your pick here. I'm just saying I don't like this dude with his stupid face and his stupid head.
Yay or nay, 47?
He's available and you need an upgraded quarterback. Why not?
See, I think he's an upgrade over a lot of quarterbacks that
top
people
10?
don't. Most weeks he's been playing like a top 10 quarterback over these past 7 weeks, man.
Well, see, what does ESPN's total QBR says? Because we all know that's the rule of quarterbacks, and Ryan Fitzpatrick's better than Tom Brady is. And who was it? Charlie Batches had the best football game ever as a quarterback when he threw 2 interceptions and only like 186 yards. Stupid-ass QBR.
Let's talk about Alex Smith, available in about 70% of the leagues.
Mr. Consistency.
Last week versus Buffalo, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. Look, he only has 3 interceptions on the season and hasn't thrown one since week 3. He has 4 touchdowns over his last 2 home games. Moving forward, he has San Diego at home, Cleveland at home, and Oakland at home. Oakland's week 17, so it may not matter in your league. It may. I'm not sure. But he also goes to Oakland and at Baltimore. So look at these matchups, man. Alex Smith has the easiest schedule out of any quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to be the best quarterback moving forward, but he has easy matchups, and he's been putting up points.
I got Big Ben. Should I bench him for Alex Smith?
No.
All right. What if Big Ben doesn't play this week? Should I pick up Alex Smith?
Should you pick up Alex Smith? He is not a terrible play this week. I might go Matt Hasselbeck, man.
I can't play the guy against the Steelers, though.
Well, you just seen what Russell Wilson did.
I know, and I
against the
didn't
Steelers.
play him. No
You
way.
should have.
I know. Oh, I had Ben. It's not like he did terrible, but Wilson did better.
Please believe. 5 touchdowns against that Steelers defense last week. Hasselbeck, he's available in about 90% of the leagues. They're 4-0 when he plays. Although, I mean, hasn't been great every game, even though they won. But last week he played great. 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions versus Tampa Bay. He has 2 touchdowns in each of his last 3 starts. And look, Pittsburgh this week, Jacksonville the following week. After that, Andrew Luck may return. But over the next 2 weeks, Matt Hasselbeck, not a terrible play.
Especially against that Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
All right, let's move into some running backs here. David Johnson from Arizona, available in about 70% of the leagues. Chris Johnson, fractured tibia. Andre Ellington, turf toe. David Johnson, he started out the season pretty hot. He had 4 double-digit fantasy performances in his first 5 weeks. He has double digits in each of his last 2 weeks as well. Now, it looks like he's going to be the starter for at least this week until Ellington gets healthy. It looks like Johnson's going to be out probably for the remainder of the season. So, how could you not want David Johnson? I am definitely going to pick this guy up.
Is he still returning kicks?
Available. He was, but since he's the starting running back, they're down 2 running backs. I think they might try to find someone else to put in there. But David Johnson, I mean, he doesn't have the greatest matchups moving forward. He has St. Louis this week. That's going to be a tough matchup for him. But Arizona, they're a high-flying offense, and you want whoever starts on that team.
He might actually add something to the offense in the passing game, if you can even do that, into their passing game, because he's their best back out of the backfield.
I believe
Catching
so
the ball.
too. And I think he runs pretty well between the tackles. You know, I was extremely high on this guy coming into the season, and it looked like he was going to be a beast to start the season. Then the rest of their backfield got healthy,
Well,
and
they
sort of
signed
moved
Chris
him
Johnson,
down the
too,
depth.
halfway through the year.
They moved him down the depth chart a little bit, but he was playing well. He's fast as hell. I think this guy can be a beast still.
Real quick, does this fracture Chris Johnson's chance at getting a new contract from Arizona? Or at least it's going to cost him some money.
I would have to believe so. I mean,
He was close to doing a new deal.
We thought this guy was washed up already.
Yeah, he played well. He'll probably get a new deal, but now they're going to get him a lot cheaper.
C.J. Anderson, available in just about 20% of the leagues, but a lot of people did drop this guy
Yeah, this
during
one's
the
going to
season.
sting for you, huh?
Well, yeah, well, he's out there right now. I could go at him if I really wanted to, try to claim him, but he was terrible for the most of the season. His best game through half the season was against Cleveland, which isn't a surprise, but it was 10 fantasy points, so it was still terrible. But last week, look what he did versus New England: 113 yards and 2 touchdowns on 15 carries.
Big carry at the end of the game.
Yeah, you remember too, New England, like I just said when talking earlier, they don't let up many 100-yard rushers. C.J. Anderson looks like he is back on track, and you'd have to expect him to take over the starting role back from Hillman. He has San Diego and Oakland over the next 2 weeks. After that, he has Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Those are 2 tough matchups. That's going to be in your playoffs, but even in week 1 in your playoffs, they play Oakland. Now, we know Oakland, they were good at stopping the run at one point this season, not so much recently, so that's a good play. In San Diego, they can't stop the run at all. So C.J. Anderson over the next 2 weeks, I think I'm going to try to claim him.
Get it. I got too many backs. I don't know if you can say that in real life.
I have Charkandrick West, and I don't know what to do with him because Spencer Ware has been a beast too. He's available in about 35% of the leagues. Over the last 2 weeks with West out, West wasn't even out the full 2 weeks, about a game and a half. 210 yards and 3 touchdowns for Spencer Ware. West, he is not guaranteed to come back this week at Oakland. If he doesn't, Spencer Ware is a must play. But even if he does come back, if West comes back, is Spencer Ware still going to stay involved? I'd have to believe so.
I read a 50-50 split, but I mean, that
yeah,
could
exactly.
change.
So that really hurts West's value moving forward. But Spencer Ware is a guy you got to go add right now if he's still out there. And another guy you got to go add, Sean Drawn, available in about 70% of the leagues. He had his 3rd straight double-digit fantasy performance last week versus Arizona, a pretty good defense. He played every single snap in that game, and he's going to remain the lead back as long as Carlos Hyde is out with that foot injury. And Hyde not necessarily going to come back this week. And look, over the next 2 weeks, they have at Chicago and at Cleveland, 2 defenses that can be beaten in the run game. Sean Drawn is definitely a guy that I would go at because running backs, you know, it's so hard to find running backs this season. And Sean Drawn's been doing it over the past 3 weeks.
Dude's name cracks me up.
47. Which one of those 4 running backs would you go add first?
I'd say David Johnson or C.J. Anderson, would be my top 2.
Yeah, I believe so too.
I tried to get Spencer Ware, but I got nixed.
Well,
I was
look,
too good in one league, and then I don't know how the hell I didn't get him in the other league. I'm only in like 4th place.
like I said, C.J. Anderson, he's probably not out there in most leagues, obviously, but the way they've been playing since Peyton Manning went down, they've been running the ball much more. They've been running the ball better, and they've been holding on to the ball a lot better. Not as many turnovers.
Well,
Manning.
Peyton's not throwing 50
so
picks.
C.J. Anderson looks a lot better without Peyton Manning.
Oh, Manning was just playing horrible. Dude's garbage this year.
One more running back real quick. Theo Riddick, available in about 75% of the leagues. This guy is very inconsistent. You only want him in PPR, but he does have at least 5 receptions in 7 different games this season, so he is used in the passing game.
I keep telling Johnny Parlay to pick him up because he said he needed running backs and he was trying to trade me after the trade deadline. I'm like, yo, dude, it's over. Just pick up Riddick. And he didn't, and I'm pretty sure Riddick had double digits that week.
We'll look over the last 3 weeks of the season. New Orleans, San Francisco, Chicago. Those 3 teams could be killed by the pass.
Believe it.
Receiver, just one of them. Dontrell Inman, available in about 90% of the leagues. Last week at Jacksonville, 5 receptions, 65 yards, and a touchdown. Keenan Allen done for the season. Malcolm Floyd was supposed to be done for the season, but he's playing through a torn labrum. He is not going to be playing every snap anymore. He's just a rotational player at this point. Dontrell Inman is going to see an uptick in playing time, an uptick in targets, and he's a guy I'm going at this point. He played well last week, and I think he's going to play well moving forward, along with Stevie Johnson. I still like whoever San Diego puts out there at wide receiver because they still have to pass a lot because they're a terrible team.
Antonio Gates had a beast game this week.
Yeah, he did. Help me out, but not enough. 47. Put it to me.
He shouldn't even be allowed to play next year. He either doesn't pay attention to his team and never even sets his lineup, or he just blows everybody out of the water. Either way, it annoys me. I hate you, 47.
Tight ends. Scott Chandler. Must add at this point. He's available in about 90% of the leagues. Obviously, Rob Gronkowski is going to miss this week's game, most likely, at least. From what I heard yesterday, it said he could, but now today I'm hearing he probably is going to versus Philadelphia. Edelman's obviously out. Amendola's supposed to return, but if he would miss, that would be even better for Scott Chandler, because with Amendola out, Chandler played a larger role in the offense, not just the tight end. They were splitting him out and getting him involved in different ways. But look, last week with Gronkowski going down, 11 targets, 5 receptions, 58 yards, and a touchdown. We've seen with Buffalo, Scott Chandler isn't a terrible tight end, but he just had so much in front of him that he wasn't really getting involved this season. But over the past couple weeks, he has been getting more involved. And really, with Tom Brady, a quarterback, obviously, you're going to want to go add this guy and play him.
What about Brandon LaFell?
Brandon LaFell on play. Look, Philadelphia, that's who they're going up against this week. Worst frickin' team against the pass ever outside of New Orleans. These might be the 2 worst teams I've ever seen against the pass. Philadelphia is just a terrible defense overall. I'm playing everybody from New England.
Word, I got Brady and LaFell. That means bonus points.
Yeah, I got Amendola. I'm playing him. I have Gronkowski, too. I might just go try to get Scott Chandler.
Dude, play Gronkowski. He'll probably get points on the bench. Dude's so good.
2 other guys here. Kyle Rudolph, available in about 50% of the leagues. 19 targets over his last 2 weeks. 13 receptions, 159 yards, and a touchdown over those 2 games. That was Green Bay and Atlanta. They have Seattle this week. Good defense. The thing they have the most trouble against is the tight end. Led up the 4th most fantasy points to him. Kyle Rudolph is becoming a lot more involved in this offense, and he really needs to, because Bridgewater, Mike Wallace isn't working out with Bridgewater, obviously.
Wallace is garbage.
Stephon Diggs got off to the real hot start, and he's still probably the best receiver out there, but he isn't having as big of games as he had when he first came in. Kyle Rudolph looks like the favorite target for Teddy Bridgewater right now.
Not a lot of passing going on in Minnesota, but they're going to throw it to somebody.
Vance McDonald, you know who he plays for?
Not a clue. Ronald?
47.
San Francisco.
Nice. Yes, he is a 49er. Available in about 99% of the league.
Screw the 49ers, dude.
He had 6 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown last week versus Arizona. He had 4 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown the previous week at Seattle. Both games, Blaine Gabbert at quarterback. They traded Vernon Davis. Garrett Selleck is going to miss multiple weeks with an ankle injury now. He just went down. They have Chicago and Cleveland over the next 2 weeks. Vance McDonald, in a deep league, I'm going to add him as my tight end if I have nothing else.
Listen, anything with the word McDonald in it, I'm anti right now, because you can't get a sausage biscuit all day, and they keep freaking blasting all-day breakfast in my face. They show a biscuit on the commercial.
I can get one in Mount Pleasant.
A sausage biscuit?
Yeah.
In the daytime.
Yeah, you can get whatever you want, man.
Nope, I don't believe it. Because I've been to 3 different McDonald's and none of them do it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You bring me this sausage biscuit the next time you come here.
I'm down.
All right. I'll buy you whatever you want from there if you bring me a sausage biscuit in the middle of the day. 47, any snacks you need?
No,
Hash brown?
So 47, who you going at first? I know you're making an ad. You're still in this.
Screw you, 47. You got a freaking bye week in both leagues already. You might as well just go to sleep.
That's all right. I mean, I got to keep adding players if they're going to...
Screw your players.
Well, the funny thing is you guys all get priority over me.
I don't get priority over nobody.
Oh, I like Kyle Rudolph. I like that matchup. I mean, Scott Chandler's obviously going to be a part of what's going to happen in New England. So, I mean, either which way, you got 2 solid plays there.
Do you need a tight end? What do you need? What do you
What do I
searching
need?
He doesn't
for?
need anything, dude. He's like 10-2 and 9-3.
Actually, yeah, I think my teams are fairly. I got a quarterback controversy coming up. I don't know if I got to start.
You almost started Tony Romo against me last week. I was all pumped when he was blowing it in that game on Thursday, and then I go look at the lineup, and he took him out before the game.
That's it.
Believe it. I don't know. I just liked Eli against
Well, the
Washington
thing was, you
better.
had Carolina's defense. That's why I figured you did, is because you had the defense going up against Tony Romo.
Tony Blomo. I dropped him as soon as he broke himself again.
Makes sense.
Dude's
So,
garbage.
I can't even.
Go pick up Castle.
I ain't picking up no quarterbacks. I got Big Ben and I got Tom Brady.
Ryan Fitzpatrick's another guy you could go at, too.
He
if
shaved
he's
his
still
beard.
out
Did you
there.
hear that? He thought his beard was causing him to throw the interceptions, I think.
Clouding his vision. Like, he just puts that helmet on and it just poofs all over his face.
He's now more aerodynamically when he fights.
He had a big game last week. I know he had a couple down weeks, but he was injured. It looks like he's back healthy now and playing well. He was playing well earlier, too, before he had that injury.
Well, I need Brandon Marshall to play well, so let's hope Fitzpatrick does, too.
They got the Giants this week. Terrible defense. Good play.
Money. Anything else for the fans?
That's about it. Any questions about your teams?
Well, here's a guy you might want to think about, too. You know, think about Kendall Wright in Tennessee. I actually wanted to mention him. But you know, as he's back, he's going to be more healthy next week. Mariota's not a bad quarterback at this
He's
point.
been up and
I mean,
down, but he played well last week.
well, he can use the extra weapon. Wright's a solid receiver, so, I mean, that might be a strong play, too.
Please believe. Who they playing this week? Jacksonville. Good play. Not terrible.
Womp womp.
Maybe that'll be 47's situational starter this week.
Who knows? You'll have to tune in to find out.
Tune in. He won't be here. Don't worry.
Well, I was
Believe
able
it.
to get him in the spread league. That's
We'll
why
be
I
late.
dropped Tony Romo and picked him up, evidently.
Fans, you got anything to ask, comment, whatever you want to do, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimthewin. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube and click and subscribe. Been on 207 subscribers for a week now. We got to step it up.